Hi, I'm Sophia, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will talk about when the boundary offenders do not change their behaviors and for whatever reason it is not possible to live without them. I will also talk about how to control the behavior of the boundary offenders. In my videos, I will share practical tips for common situations without judgment. It is important to say that if there is a possibility of physical violence in the relationship and it is not tolerable, ask for outside help. The purpose of this video is to give survival tricks in dealing with boundary offenders. If we make ourselves aware that this is our own choice, then it becomes easier to cope with. The victim game is replaced. The quality of our relationship with the boundary offender determines the strategy. Boundary offenders use their victim as a source of positive energy. And it is important for them that everything happens according to their will. Being together with the boundary offender, we have to let go of the need to make a decision. But if there is a possibility, we can carefully and in complete secrecy influence the information on the basis of which the boundary offender makes his or her decision. The lie will come out, I do not recommend it. But it is possible to make the boundary offender believe that he or she has everything in his or her hands, even though we have put it in his or her hands. They like to be asked for their opinions and help and to feel important, admired and praised. But real intimacy and emotion scares them, so don't push it. Never criticize them, tell them what to do or demand accountability for their actions. If a promise is broken, it's broken. Get used to incomplete communication, don't ask questions. If something is really important, it will come out. If you ask someone else for help, you never rub their nose in it. Never dwell on the past. That way, everyday tensions can be avoided. Try to have as little contact as possible with the offender, but when it does happen, it must not be complained about. It takes guts to play a role, but if you realize that it's just a role, a choice, and what you don't step out of the connection is worth the sacrifice, you can do it. It may be that the feelings we have for the boundary offender have not completely passed, these can be useful too. In a couple relationship, it is not common for partners to spend 24 hours a day together all year round. A couple of hours of acting out every day is the price we pay for our peace of mind and the reason for our decision. The strategy of one ear in and one ear out is incredibly effective. If we are not interested in what the boundary offender is saying or he or she wants to get into us, never take it as a personal insult, because then there will be tension and that is the exact drama he or she wants, because he or she gets bored easily. They expect all stimulation from the outside, being alone and inside is a freak out for them. It is important to release the tension that builds up in our souls in a conscious and effective way, for example through sport. Otherwise, it will blow up at the wrong time and in the wrong place. Speak out about emotional distress as much as possible, at least with a fellow sufferer. It is important not to burden the child, if there is one, with adult things. If you want to ease the tension on the boundary offender from time to time, but not often, it can only be done in a tricky way. I mirror the behavior of one of the boundary offenders or do something wrong that might upset them, but then go straight down to possum. I apologize, beg for their favor. I am puzzled that I don't understand, so I lift them above me, but I also have fun because I had a bit of control and I threw them off. At most, the boundary offenders thinks I'm a fool, but they've never respected me before, so I guess it doesn't matter. If the tension stays inside, it can develop serious and even fatal illnesses. It's called somatization. Our needs that suffer from lack should be released or resolved without them. Because if we are stressed about them, we cannot play a role. For me, for example, connecting with animals has always given me a lot spiritually. A boundary offender can't forgive, but they love to punish, because then they can put themselves in the role of victim and so they do not have to take responsibility, which they don't like to do anyway. Keep your energy level high all the time, because if it drops, you can be tense, and the boundary offender will sense that and will attack you. Never be tired, hungry, thirsty, nervous or moody about anything in company with them. This life is about survival with the boundary offender, but alongside it, develop a life of your own, daily aware of the purpose that keeps you in the situation, otherwise you will go mad.